Okay, I'm going to show you how to find the line of best fit, the exact line of best fit, which is still an estimation for a scatter plot on your calculator. The first button you're going to push is the data button. Okay, when you push the data button, you basically are going to get, and I'm going to zoom in if I can, you're basically going to get where it says L1, L2, L3. For this, we're going to use L1 and L2. And all we're going to do is we're going to type in our data set into this calculator, and then I'll show you what we do next. So this would be, first one would be what? 1, 2, so I'm just typing in the x's first. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? So go back and check it so you don't mess it up. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just counting, isn't it? Okay. Now I need to go, and I'm using this pad right here to move back and forth to look at it. So I'm going to move it over here to the top, and then I'm going to type in all the y's. So the y's in this particular case would be what? 24, enter, and you don't see that I'm hitting enter. Every time I type something, I hit enter. 24, 22, 20, let's get on screen, 19, 18, 15, 11, 9, 6, 5. Okay, after I do that, I'm going to look at all my points and double check with my table and make sure they're all right. I think mine are all right. Okay, and this is why I'm putting this on a video recording. You can do a lot of things with this. The next thing we are going to do is we're going to hit second. And we're going to hit the same button. So second, data, and it becomes, we'll zoom in on the end, it becomes stat, or statistics. Okay, what do we think it's going to be? We have a choice. 1 variable statistics or 2 variable statistics. What do we think? How many variables do we have in our problem? Yeah. We have an x and a y, so it would be 2, right? So I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and right here is asking my x data, which one is it in? It's in line 1. My y data is in line 2. Most people never touch this. If you don't touch this, it works. If you mess with it, it's best to just reset and start over. So I just go ahead and you can scroll down and hit CALC, which means calculate. Exactly. Now I have all these numbers. And I'm going to try to zoom in and light this well so we can look at all these numbers and see what they mean. Okay. And hopefully we can get it nice and lit so we can see it. Okay. And hopefully it stops shaking. All right. The first thing that we are going to need is, well, number 1, n equals 9. That just says that we put in 9 points. Were we supposed to put in 9 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means you put in all your points. That's just a way to check things. Okay. 2 means something, but we're not going to use it. 3 means something, 4 means something, but we're not going to use it. So we're going to scroll all the way down because these are all important for some things. We're going to go all the way down here. Okay, so on the side it has numbers. Like that's number 1, number 2. We're going to go all the way down past 9, A, B, C, D, and we're going to go right here. This is where we need to be. These 3 things, the D, E, F on your calculator. Okay, I'm going to write it down. A equals what? Negative 2.52. Can I call that negative 2.52? By rounding? B equals, and I'm writing this down separately and I'll show you later, equals 26.9. And we're going to need that R, and I'll tell you what that R is later. R is negative 0.99. And we're going to round to 2 decimal places. Okay, that's all the information you need. This calculator did a ton of work for you. You would not want to do what we just did manually. Okay, and again, there's going to be another video where I'm going to, or either I or somebody else is going to show you how to do the calculator on the computer. Okay, so now let's look at our numbers and see what this will do for us. Okay, so this guy right here, in algebra, we don't have it be A. In algebra, we would call this letter M instead. In statistics, a lot of times they do this instead of what we do in algebra. You can't see, I need to unzoom. They use A instead of M. Okay? And it kind of makes sense. Why did we use B in the first place? Well, because there's a form of slope-intercept form that uses A. So A is first, B is second. Just using algebra, we changed it to M because there was a French mathematician that liked it. And so that's why we do that. All right, now we need to figure out what this is. So I'm going to write this in slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 2.52 x plus 26.92. Okay, so what we just did is we found the real line of best fit. Okay, when we do this, because it's kind of a statistics thing, our slope is actually going to be a decimal most of the time instead of a fraction. Okay, we're not going to worry about graphing it. We could definitely graph it with a computer. We're not going to be worried about graphing it by hand. We're kind of beyond that. We're using technology to do this, and we are going to use this to predict. Basically the future of a set. And so we're going to get into that later. I just really wanted to go over the calculator on this. And so I'm going to end this video, and then we're going to go over the same thing with the computer.